Picture this. It's February 2026. Two nations are careening towards a conflict that no human even started. See, their autonomous defense systems are stuck in a high-speed logic loop over some disputed data center, and they're escalating toward a real-world strike in milliseconds. The Situation Rooms are only just now lighting up. But then, the war's averted. And not by some frantic call between presidents, but by a third, neutral pulse that hits the network. A third AI, an AI diplomat. This is the radical new frontline we're exploring today. This idea of using advanced autonomous negotiation models to de-escalate the very kinds of conflicts that AI itself might start. So the question is, how could a system like this actually work? And maybe more importantly, what are the huge risks that come with it? So, okay, why do we even need an AI diplomat in the first place? Well, the core problem is just speed. Traditional diplomacy, the kind that has shaped our entire world, it's now facing a crisis of time. It was built for a human-paced world, but conflicts are starting to move at machine speed. And this contrast right here, it reveals a really dangerous gap. On one side, you've got human diplomacy. It's all built on trust, relationships, careful thinking. It takes weeks or months. On the other side, you have AI-driven conflict, which happens in the space between heartbeats. By the time a human diplomat is even briefed on what's happening, the automated damage is already done. That's the diplomatic latency gap, and it is a perfect breeding ground for catastrophic mistakes. So how in the world do you bridge that gap? Well, you fight machine speed with machine speed. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's a real emerging field of technology. It's built on a whole new class of AI, designed not just to answer our questions, but to actively negotiate, to simulate outcomes, and to broker actual agreements. The key idea here is something called agentic AI. The best way to think about it is like the difference between a calculator and a project manager. A normal AI, it might just answer a question you ask it. But an agentic AI, you give it a high-level goal, something like prevent this trade war, and it can actually break that down into smaller steps, go find the information it needs, and start executing a plan to get it done, all while making sure to flag the really big decision points for its human operators. They're proactive problem solvers, but they're not meant to go it alone. And these AI diplomats are incredibly powerful. They're trained on centuries of peace treaties and economic models. They can do real-time data analysis. They can even track the sentiment of entire populations. But here's where it gets wild. They can simulate thousands, even millions of negotiation strategies, using game theory to find a mathematically stable compromise. They can even be trained on psychological warmth strategies, learning that a positive tone is a measurable advantage in getting a deal done. And they can do all of that in the time it takes us to clear our throats. All right, let's make this feel a little more real with a hypothetical scenario. Imagine a near-future conflict that's not over oil or territory, but over data, the single most valuable resource of the 21st century. So here's the crucial part. It's all about how the AI solves this problem. You have two big economic blocks, and they're right on the verge of a trade war over access to a vital dataset for training their national AIs. The human negotiations, totally deadlocked. So a neutral AI diplomat steps in, analyzes the stalemate, and proposes a technical solution using something called zero-knowledge proofs. The simplest way to think about it is, it's a way for you to prove you know a secret, like a password, without ever having to reveal the secret itself. In this case, it lets both sides train their models on the data without either side having to actually share its private, sensitive information. And the result? A trade war is averted, not through a political handshake, but through cryptographic trust. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's how an AI could diffuse a looming economic crisis. But what happens when the stakes are even higher? When we move from a trade war to an actual flash war? What happens when the triggers are being pulled not by soldiers, but by algorithms? This is where that machine speed becomes both terrifying and kind of amazing. Two autonomous drone fleets collide by accident in a disputed territory. Their automated protocols instantly trigger a counter-strike alert. But built right into both systems is a secure, high-speed communication channel for de-escalation. It's like an automated hotline that opens instantly, letting the AI agents on both sides talk. They verify the collision was an algorithmic error, not a hostile act, and agree on how to de-escalate. The entire crisis begins and ends before the human commanders even get the first alert on their phones. And you know that automated communication channel? That's not just some sci-fi idea. The building blocks are being put in place right now with emerging real-world standards like the agent-to-agent or A2A protocol. It's designed to be a kind of universal translator for AI agents, allowing systems built by different countries or companies to communicate securely and effectively. It's the technical backbone that could actually make machine-speed diplomacy possible. Okay, so we have this incredible potential for AI to be a powerful tool for peace. But, like any powerful technology, it's got a dark side. The very same tools that can be used to build bridges can also be used to burn them right down. This is the dual-use dilemma. Let's start with the positive because this stuff is already happening. In Libya, the UN used an AI platform to host these digital town halls with thousands of citizens. The AI could analyze all of their responses in real time, finding areas where people agreed and disagreed. This made the whole peace process way more inclusive and grounded it in what people on the ground actually wanted, a clear win for AI as a peacemaker. But now, here's the flip side. The exact same generative AI technologies are being used to undermine democracy. We're seeing automated propaganda campaigns, hyper-personalized messages designed to prey on our biases, and deepfake videos that create false narratives, just completely blurring the line between what's real and what's fake. The peacemaker and the propagandist, they really are two sides of the same coin. Which brings us to the central, and maybe the most difficult question of all. If we hand over these high-stakes negotiations to a machine, are we also handing over our values? Do we actually trust an algorithm to define what is fair, what is just, and what is right? And that one question, it just opens up a Pandora's box of other problems. You've got the black box problem. Can we even understand why an AI proposed a certain solution? There's algorithmic bias. What if the historical data an AI is trained on is unjust? Well, its solutions might just reinforce that injustice. And finally, the most important one, accountability. If an AI diplomat makes a bad call, who's responsible? That is the accountability gap, and we have to solve it. So the answer isn't to replace humans, it's to augment them. The most effective path forward seems to be a hybrid model, a true partnership between human diplomats and their AI counterparts. And this isn't just wishful thinking, there's actual data to back this up. For example, research in competitive negotiation trials have shown that hybrid strategies where humans are working alongside AI tools are way more effective than either humans or AI working alone. In some studies looking at complex negotiations, these hybrid teams saw their success rates jump by over 22%. This quote really just nails it. We might need the AI's incredible speed and analytical power to manage conflicts that are moving way too fast for us. They can process all the data and generate a whole spectrum of possible solutions. Those are the options. But it is our job as humans to embed our principles, our ethics, our values into that final decision. And this is really the ultimate vision for 2026. Peace becomes a true partnership. We use the incredible speed of machines to act as a circuit breaker, to stop the immediate fire of a machine speed crisis. And that, in turn, buys us, the humans, the most precious resource of all, time. Time for the slow, the deliberate, the wise diplomacy we need to actually build a lasting peace. So, that leaves us with a final question for you to think about. After all this, would you trust an AI to negotiate on your behalf? Or is this whole idea of machine peace just a temporary ceasefire, a quiet moment before a much bigger, more complex conflict kicks off? Let us know what you think.